What's going on, guys? It's Anthony, and what I was going to share with you was my review of the Sony a6700 camera. I took it out on a trip to Wyoming and Montana with me, and I used it the entire time. It's amazing, and I want to just share a review on it, but before that, I want to share some footage I got on it, so here we go. Alright, ooh, I just shook the whole desk. I hope you all enjoyed that little montage of footage from my trip out to Wyoming, Montana. The ice climbing was in Montana, the rest of the footage was from Wyoming. But anywho, let's dive into this bad boy right here that I had a blast with. Alright, let's begin. This is the body of the Sony a6700. I don't have a kit lens on it. This is a lens I bought for my Sony a6000 that I use. It's the 18 to 135 millimeter. I do like it a lot. It has a removable battery right here, little blue lever, not leather. Kick that up. Comes out. It is a NP-FZ1000. You can see it right there. Put it back in. This side down, right there. Click the lever up. Clicks right in. Boom. Pull that lever right here, and it shuts it. From here, you have your thread for mounting the camera to tripods, rigs, whatever you want to mount the camera to. Then over here, you have your SD card, your charging port for charging the camera with your battery in it. You have a audio jack for microphones. And then the bottom one is an HDMI video out port, and then your headphone jack. One of my favorite features about this camera that I hadn't had on the a6000, it's probably been upgraded maybe on one of the other later models, but is that the screen comes out like that, which is perfect for vlogging. And it also does twist so I can have it facing me for all my purposes when I'm shooting this way. But flip it back, boom, shut it. Alright, on the top of the camera you have your on-off switch, your recording button at the top of the camera, which I do like because on my a6000 it was on the side right here, your custom to button, and then your dial with all your settings on it right here. Program modes include program auto, aperture priority, shutter priority, manual mode, and then these 1, 2, 3 are for your memory recalls, so you can set those to whatever programs and whatever settings that you like, and that's the memory recall for those 3 right there. You can set those. Obviously you have your menu button right there. I just turned the camera on and it is pretty dynamic. When you click menu, you have your camera for shooting, exposure, focus, playback, networking for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all that. And you can set your area and date. Then you have your menu settings right there. And then main, go over here and see what everything is set to. So I'm currently in auto for shooting, like camera, like photos, not recording. And you can do all these cool little settings in here. This is, I don't know if you can see it that well, but this allows you to focus or make it clear, or make it defocused or make it clear. You can make the room bright, dark. You can do warm, cool, and you can have all these auto settings right here that you can just click and thumb through, which is pretty neat. And then I also wanted to point out that there's this dial right here, which allows you, there's a camera and then a camcorder. You can switch it and it makes it go from, you know, shooting for photos to video, which I really like having that little dial right there. So I can go from photography to videography just like that. Now these are just additional personal thoughts on the camera and its compact size. That's really why I love it for hiking, bringing it into the backcountry, or just being away from, you know, a bag like that has all my camera stuff. I can just put it in my hiking bag and go. It just fits in a small camera bag, or you can just wrap it in some, you know, extra hiking clothes you have. And then I also love that obviously not every camera has removable batteries, but you know, it just makes it easy on the go. Make sure it's turned off before I do this. Just pop out the battery just like that and put in a new charged one. So you can just carry around multiple batteries and never have to worry about, you know, having a power source to charge the camera. So for that, I think it's great if you're a hiker, mountaineer, or just, you know, going off-roading for a bit. It's a good camera to have, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I've used the a6000 for the past 5-6 years, and I finally made the upgrade to this. I can imagine that this one is just as sturdy, if not more. One thing I really like about the Sony a6700 is the advanced AI tracking. So right now you can see the camera is picking up on my dog and following him. Check. And now it's picking up on his eyeballs. So I thought that was really cool. It's really helpful for shooting wildlife, and it's a really cool feature that Sony added to this camera. Another feature that I love is that I can do touch tracking. So to get there, I'm just in the auto mode right now. I click the touch screen right here, it's on touch tracking, and then I can go over to Shackleton and just boom, it's tracking him now. As you can see. Alright, hopefully we stay focused. I also really like the other drive modes, which if you're in the camera dial right here and you click this is continuous shooting, so you can just get a bunch of images at once. You can also, not focus area, go to self timer for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 2 seconds. You can also do self timer continuous 10 seconds 5 images, 10 seconds 3 images. There's just a lot of different settings you can go through in your drive mode. I typically shoot on continuous, so that's what I like, but you can also do single shooting if you're just shooting landscapes. Continuous shooting is great for shooting wildlife or something that's going to be leaving your screen pretty quickly. So that's a cool little function right there with a lot of capabilities. Alright, if you hear any noise in the background of Shackleton, he's playing with his toy. Let's talk image quality. So the Sony a6700 It is a 26 megapixel camera, and I thought the images that I captured out west were phenomenal. I'm not a professional photographer, but I have taken my fair share of photos, and I think that with the right settings, you can capture astounding images. Now, as far as low light, I've already had people ask me how does it shoot in low light. Well, it has a wide range for the ISO on the camera, from 100 all the way up to 32,000, but once you hit that 6400 ISO range, you start to get that noise in your photo and it really dilutes quality. So it's good in low light. I did capture some images when it was, sunset, when it was very early in the morning in Yellowstone National Park, and they did come out pretty good, but you have to be careful of your ISO there. It could get a little noisy and you don't want that. Shackleton wanted to hang out. Alright, let's talk video quality quickly, because he's starting to be crazy. Alright, the camera can record at high frame rates. I have all that footage in the beginning of the video that I took on the a6700. It can shoot in 4K, and it has in-body stabilization, which is great for when you're going in the backcountry, because when you're in the backcountry, you don't always have time to set up a tripod. When you have an amazing scene or wildlife that's on the move, you have the camera, it's in your hands, and the in-body stabilization helps permit a smoother capture on your camera, which is just really helpful. It's super helpful. So some of that stuff, especially the ice climbing videos I put in there, I'm holding the camera because I didn't have time to set up a tripod. We were with a guide, and the big goal was learning that day. So I think the in-body stabilization is huge. I think the 4K is awesome, and yeah, it's good stuff. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the AI tracking is also great for recording video. So it works both for photos great, it works for video great. I have footage of moose, it tracks its eye. If you have it zoomed in enough, you have your 200 to 600 millimeter zoom lens, it's great for that. So yeah, video capability, I mean, just go back to the beginning of the video and see some of that footage. I thought it was crisp. It depends how you're shooting and your settings, you gotta make sure those are all appropriate for the scene, but it is definitely a higher quality than, I mean, I'm shooting on my a6000 right now. I think it's good, but this is obviously a huge upgrade. Connectivity and workflow. There is a creator app that the camera can connect to via Wi-Fi. You can pull down images quickly that way. I typically just pop out the SD card and put it in one of these SD card ports directly into my Mac. Shackleton, don't be crazy. And that's how I get my footage down and my images down, because I always have a concern, whether it's real or not, of downloading things over Wi-Fi, having it dilute the quality. So that's what I do, but I think that it is really user-friendly. The app is super user-friendly. It was much better than the previous app I had to use, so that was great. The other thing I wanted to mention was why I like using the a6700, the a6000, and Sony in general. I'm biased. It's what I've been using for the past 5-6 years, as I mentioned prior. Sony has a huge ecosystem of lenses and accessories, which makes shooting a lot easier because you have a lot of versatility to match different shooting scenes, different scenarios. So I think that is fundamental to capturing good images and good video, is having a camera and camera accessories and lenses that are all very quickly interchangeable. Sony provides that. So I'm not affiliated with Sony, which I was, but that's why I like it. I like that I can just pop off this lens with this button right here, and then I could find my 200 to 600 millimeter lenses right there and pop it on very quickly. So I think that is one of the reasons why I love the Sony brand so much. It's just there's so many accessories and lenses to choose from, and that fit so many different shooting scenarios. So anywho, on that note, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy cameras, tech, good tech and cameras for the backcountry, good gear for the backcountry and filming in the mountains and mountain wildlife, or all of the above, hit the like button, toss a comment on what camera you use or any cameras you bring into the backcountry that you think fit perfect in your bag, that are lightweight, etc. And sorry, Shaq bit my big toe there. That really hurt. And subscribe. I try to produce new content for this channel pretty regularly. I don't really have a set schedule yet, but I hope you enjoyed this. I really appreciate you watching it. I love that I've built a small subscriber base of just under 1,100 subscribers. And until next time, I look forward to sharing more with you. And Shaq's growling at me, so there he is. He's saying bye too. So I'll see you guys.